Hi, this is Ike from IkesOutdoors.com. Today we're going to be doing a product review on the Peep Eliminator. First thing we're going to do here is we're going to show you what this thing is. If you've ever sighted in a rifle, if you've ever shot a rifle, you're going to be real familiar with the concept behind this Peep Eliminator. You can see here what this is it mounts right underneath your sight bracket. It mounts right there underneath your sight. Now this is a standard model. We're going to show you the extender model here in a few minutes, but it mounts right underneath your sight bracket. And it looks just like the back blade on your rifle sight. Got a couple fiber optics in there. This is the double fiber optic model. There is a single fiber optic model. We'll show you how that will help you out a little bit later on. And all you basically do, what we've got here is my wife's got two pins. This is on my wife's bow. My wife's got two pins set up. She's got a 20 and a 25 yard pin. All she does is line that blade up with her bottom pin. Now she only has two pins. If you're using multiple pins, 4, 5, 6, whatever, all you do is set this up to where it lines up with your bottom pin. Every time you pull this bow back, you pull her back, you're looking right through the Peep Eliminator. That's one of the nicest features of it. You're right there, it's right in your line of sight, but it doesn't block your target because it's down low. So it lines up with your bottom pin and leaves you a good clear field of vision to see every one of your pins. No more looking through a 16th inch hole, a 3/8 hole, whatever size peep sight you were shooting. It leaves you a nice clear field of vision and also gives you a very repeatable anchor sight. You pull back and you're consistently in the same anchoring spot. It shows you whether you're torquing your bow, whether it's sideways, and it'll show you that you're in the correct anchoring spot just when those two are lined up. We're going to show you a little bit later on, even when you can't come to your correct anchoring spot, this thing will still make you shoot very accurately. So that's the Peep Eliminator there, and you can see we've got the double dots on this one, and we got a light for the back there that for this model that we've got set up. All it does is screw in right there and turn that on. It's going to light up them fiber optics. Now, like a setup like this, we've got sights. We've got a light on our Peep Eliminator. We've got a light on our sight, and for dusk situations, you're set up. You're ready to go. There's no more peep sight to cloud your vision, make that dark and make it hazy and kind of mess up your shot. I've had that happen to me quite a bit before, and it's cost me a few deer. So that'll help you in low light situations, and it'll give you a few extra minutes. You know as well as I do, those big boys, those mature deer, they are going to prowl at the last few minutes of daylight, and that's going to give you that time to make that shot and be able to have a good clear view of that animal. Another nice feature of it, especially if you're like me and my wife with shooting low poundage, is it gets a little bit of weight off your string, so it's going to speed your bow up a little bit. You can grab a couple more feet per second pretty easy just by taking that peep sight off, depending on what you're using. Now this one is the extender model, and I've got it taken off the bow just so I can give you a good close-up view of how this thing actually works. You'd mount this right up to your riser, and it's got multiple holes on it, so you can actually mount your sights out further away from your bow. If you're using a pretty basic sight that's not extended out like this, then you can extend this out. I'm using this on my competition bow, and I've got this thing set out almost a foot out in front of my bow. And the setup on this in the back is just exactly the same. If you've ever sighted in a gun, you can sight this thing in. All you simply do is raise it up to where the elevation that you need it, move your left and right, get your bottom pin right in the bottom of that V groove, and you're ready to shoot. One of the really big advantages that this Peep Eliminator is going to offer you is you do not have to come to a consistent anchoring spot, or you don't have to be able to get to your anchoring spot. You only have to bring that string back to your cheek. How many times have you had a deer come in behind you, behind the tree, and you've had to try to twist around and get that deer, get everything lined up on your bow and be able to get that deer in place? With this thing, as long as you can get your bottom pin to the bottom of that blade, you can shoot this thing. So what I'm going to do is I've got a target set up here behind me, and I'm going to take a shot with this thing, and I'm going to see how well it performs under these type of conditions. But you can see there, I can't get my anchoring spot now. I'm all twisted around, and I can't get back. I usually anchor back quite a ways from this, but I can see my pin, and I can see my bottom pin, and I'm able to make the shot. So that's a huge advantage to this thing. You can twist it around. Anytime you can line up that bottom pin with the bottom of your blade, you're good to go. You're ready to shoot. Okay, so there's a couple different blades for this, and I'm going to show you how to use the double dot to cut down the number of pins you've got and still shoot the same yardage. This one here is your standard single pin. This is the one that comes with the sight. And you can see there it's just got a set of fiber optics in it, one set of green. Now what I've got on my bow here is the double set. You can see there it's got two sets of fiber optics, the yellow and the green there. Now I've got a multiple pin sight, but I like to shoot a single pin sight. And what this is going to allow me to do, the reason I shoot a multiple pin sight is I don't adjust very well when it comes to making a longer shot. I like to use a slider because I only like one pin, but I hate to have to try to reach up there and move the thing if the deer's going away from me. I've had instances where I've scared a deer but been able to stop it, and I don't want to have to try to adjust my sight. So I've switched to a multiple pin sight, but I like the simplicity of a single pin sight. And what this will allow you to do is to set a single pin sight at 20 yards. So you set your single pin sight up, and you line that single pin sight up at 20, and you line that up with your bottom yellow here. Now when you slide it out to 30, you don't have to adjust your sight to shoot 30. All you have to do is drop down and line that same pin up that's in your 20-yard position up with your top pins on this. So if you guys shooting a single pin sight or a slider, now you have a very consistent way of shooting 20 yards, but it's a very consistent way of shooting 30 yards as well without actually having to reach up there and change anything. And I've actually practiced with this a little bit. And my bow here this bow is set up for speed. I'm shooting about 285 feet per second, which ain't that fast, but I've got short draw length and I'm shooting pretty low weight. But I could shoot consistently with my top pin on this bow. I could shoot my top pin out to 30 to 35 yards. 35 yards was kind of pushing it, but this bow is not a real barn burner as far as speed. But I could shoot 30 consistently with one pin just by dropping my anchoring point and lining it up with those top green fiber optics there. So that's the Peep Eliminator. There's two different models. This is the extender model. The other model is the standard model. Very nice. The first day that I had this, I was able to set it up quickly. I had it set up in about 15 to 20 minutes, and I went out and just tried to put together some groups to see what kind of groupage I could put together with it, and I was busting knocks. I busted 6 knocks the first day out of 10, and I Robin Hooded an arrow. So it's very consistent. And it's going to help you with the two major things that I ran into with problems with being able to harvest a deer. Is it's going to help you in low light situations, and it's going to help you for those awkward shots. Very consistent even when you're out of shape, even when you can't actually come back to your anchoring spot. And the one thing about this is when I get a product like this in, I try to find a way to make it not work. I mean, I try to find the flaws in it. That's why you're watching this video, is you want to see what is wrong with this thing. You want to see the good things and the bad things about it. I tried to cheat this thing. I tried doing all kinds of different stuff, and you can't cheat it. If you change, if you move your head around and stuff like that, you're not going to have things lined up. You cannot cheat this thing. Multiple pin, you can shoot it with multiple pins. You can shoot it with single pin. You can shoot it with that single pin, leave it in one spot, and extend your range out without having to touch your sight. Lots of very, very nice things about this sight, and this is the one that I'm going to be using from now on. I've tried other ones like this, and I want to get away from using a Peep sight, and this is my answer to that. Very consistent, very accurate, and it's a 10. I found absolutely nothing to complain about this thing. So be sure to check this product out, Peep Eliminator. Go to their website, www.peepeliminator.com. There's a lot of good information on there, and when they send this out to you, there's a lot of good information, very good, clear, concise directions on how to set this thing up. And if you've ever sighted in a rifle, you know how to shoot this thing, and it will give you rifle-like accuracy just like it advertises. So the one thing I suggest that you do when you buy this thing is don't shoot groups unless you got a bunch of extra knocks, because I shot off 6 of my pin knocks the first day I had it. So unless you got some extra knocks laying around, don't be shooting groups. www.peepeliminator.com. Very good product. It has my seal of approval for what that counts for, and it's definitely going to be the one that I'm going to be using here pretty soon to harvest me a turkey, I hope. So check that out, peepeliminator.com. Be sure to check out our website, ikesoutdoors.com, for more product reviews, videos, how-to, just whatever I can come up with to put on there related to archery. I'm putting on that site, so be sure to check that out, ikesoutdoors.com. I appreciate you watching.
I like good times.